So Wuthering version 2.2 so far has been a massive success. I've seen a ton of people online, including players and creators, saying that they've really enjoyed the story, they've really enjoyed the exploration, and they've really enjoyed the characters. With the new 5-star rinascita actually being Cantarella coming out, which a ton of people have been super excited for, especially with her trailer that actually dropped, and it's actually been getting a ton of people demonetized, which honestly is absolutely crazy, especially seeing as this was something that was added to YouTube, and it's being demonetized for a lot of other people. But one very important thing that happens whenever a new character comes out is a lot of people do like to farm for the character and like to get the best pieces, whether that's before the release or after the release, to get a little bit ahead of the curve and just to kind of get a lot of materials in preparation for Cantarella. But obviously this can be made pretty hard, especially when you got no tools to actually track what you're doing, and sometimes you can be short on a lot of materials, or you could be missing some stuff, which can get very frustrating. And moreover, on Twitter, someone actually mentioned a change that Wuthering could be making to improve this, and I really wanted to talk about it and talk about how this could actually improve Wuthering in general, and how the source material and pretty much the foundations for this is actually already in place and can actually be implemented very, very easily. But before I get into this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and also good game subs, use my code CASA, get 10% off. Again, they've got a ton of really cool stuff over there, so I definitely recommend going to go check it out. And yeah, let's get back into the video. So this is the post I actually came across. It's in the Gacha Please, and this person says, release the damn Kuro ads for global. It's localization that hard for Kuro. This actually infuriates me. I need drama, and everybody throwing the stuff over this. Now, I don't think this actually deserves drama, but it definitely deserves a little bit of a pointing out and showing you guys what this is all about and what they're actually getting angry about, because this was something from another post saying there's a developing requirement calculator on Kuro's official community now, just noticed it, and it can actually read the items from the bag in game, telling you what other stuff you actually need to farm in the game, which honestly I think is a very, very cool feature. Now this looks like it's on a mobile app to do with Kuro games, and this isn't available over on global, so if you're like in the US, in the UK, or in the EU, somewhere like that, well, you're not going to be able to get this, and you're not going to be able to use this feature that a lot of people over on the CN server do have. Now obviously this is a really great feature because, as you can see here, it actually has a icon of Cantarella, pretty much allowing people to pre-farm and also just, you know, farm in general for her and actually know what materials you're missing to get it up to the maximum amount that you want. And honestly, I think this is such a great feature to add, you know, outside of the game, and it's something that I definitely think that Kuro games could work on, is adding features outside of the game that help people kind of farm and help people do other things, because, you know, we've had that problem with Genshin Impact in the past, where pretty much there's a ton of like really important details that kind of go missing and that other people in the community have to make for them, and it gets kind of frustrating because, again, you don't really want to trust a lot of your data and stuff with all of these people that you don't really know at all. It is better to trust it with, you know, the company that actually owns the game. And, you know, it seems like Kuro have already laid the foundations for this, doing it over on the CN side. So honestly, this is something that I really want to see over on, you know, global, because again, why not? I feel like, you know, this is very gated towards the CN community at the moment, and obviously Wuthering has had a big issue whenever it comes to localization and actually getting stuff out to other kind of regions. You know, even Korea is still struggling with a lot of the localization and translation over there, which again just really sucks, and I've covered a whole video talking about that, where, you know, a lot of the translations just don't really make sense, and there's been a ton of people actually going in my comments and stuff telling me that that is a big problem and that it is kind of ruining the story for them. But obviously it isn't really ruining the gameplay, apart from maybe whenever it comes to builds and the mistranslation of some weapon stuff. But apart from that, you know, whenever it comes to combat, obviously the game is still fine and it still runs absolutely smoothly, which is the thing that is keeping Korean people there. And obviously, if you saw my last video, I actually talked about them going over to Korea and doing a ton of collaboration work, especially with Samsung and places like that, which, you know, if you're gonna go and collaborate and do a lot of advertising there, you've at least got to make the game like pretty good, because again, I feel like the translation was a little bit of an issue over there. But again, I'm hoping that Kuro games can fix that very, very soon, and the same goes for some other stuff as well. There's some other languages as well that were having some issues, including someone that actually got banned for using a translator because Kuro didn't actually officially like fully cover, you know, their language. I'm pretty sure they had a model for it, but it just didn't really work that well, so someone used a translator, ended up getting banned for a third-party software. And although it is technically against the rules, you know, it does suck that someone had to go to that length to do it, because again, it would just be nice if the game was accessible to everyone. And the same goes to this app, you know, it'd be nice if this app and a lot of the stuff that, you know, Kuro games does does actually go global rather than being stuck to a certain region. You know, it's not just China all the time. Sometimes they do stick it to another region, for example, like Japan, other places like that, where, you know, features are just for them, which again does get kind of annoying for a lot of people over here, because, you know, I could really benefit from an app like this, and I feel like a lot of people could benefit from having an app like this, you know, kind of pre-farming or farming for Cantarella, which again, you know, obviously the updates today, so tons of people over in China are probably going to be using this app to track how many materials they have and what they have for Cantarella in general, whereas us over in global, we don't get anything like this, and we have to either rely on people doing fan kind of apps or fan kind of websites doing this, or, you know, we just have to, you know, suck it up and just, you know, calculate everything on our account rather than have a nice app do it for us in general. So again, it would be something really nice to see come over to this game. Now, this is even like a further look at how it actually goes. You can actually set, I think, a level that you want to get it to, and then it tells you exactly how much material you want to, you know, use, or how much you want to farm, which honestly I think is great. I think, as I said, there has been some third-party softwares in the past that have done it for Genshin Impact and things like that, which honestly, you know, were absolutely amazing, and it really helped out whenever it comes to, you know, farm materials, because again, it's a small little change, it's a small little thing, let's be honest, but it does make a big difference whenever it comes to just kind of tracking what you need and tracking what you want to get. And the added bonus of this is the fact that it automatically does it based off of your account. This is Kuro official, meaning that, you know, you can link your account and that it will actually take the data and take it off, you know, that profile. It will take it off, you know, it'll be like, okay, you have this much, okay, you only need this much left. Whereas with some of the other ones, with the Genshin Impact ones I was talking about, you have to actually put it in manually. So say if you go farm a ton of like talent level up books or something, you then have to put it in manually how many you actually farmed, which can be a little bit monotonous and can be a little bit annoying. So honestly, I get why people didn't like that as much. But honestly, this, having an inbuilt system in game where it can actually track how much you're getting in, is so much better, and obviously it's so much easier for a lot of people, and that's why using an official app like this is better, because I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, well, why don't you just use the third party? Why doesn't someone just make a third party app? Well, it's not going to be as good. They don't have access to this kind of data. They never will have access to this kind of data of stuff that's going on, and the convenience of a Kuro Games made one is so much more than, you know, someone actually having to input every single one that's going on. I mean, someone can make it, but, you know, this is already here. This is already here. It's already made. So why not bring it out over to the US and the UK and stuff like that? Because again, as you can see here, it says, you know, for Phoebe here, you can have 122 level up materials, you know, 135, and then it literally just tells you everything you need to get and everything you need to farm for. And this post actually came out before the release, meaning that I'm pretty sure it can help you with pre-farming as well. Even before Cantarella is even out, you can start pre-farming and start getting some of the materials that you need for her, which honestly I think is great. Now, I don't know if that is the case. Maybe it was locked until the release actually came out. But again, as I said, this post was made before the release, meaning that, you know, there is a high chance that Kuro Games is actually kind of, you know, promoting people to pre-farm a little bit and helping people out with this app and these features, which again, I just really want this over in global. This is like maybe a video talking about why I want this over in global, because it just seems like a very good idea. Now, will I use it all the time? Probably not, but I do think for a lot of the people that do like to optimize their accounts, that do like to optimize certain characters, it's a very nice feature, and having an app like this, a community app like this, would be great. Now, obviously there was some other people in the comments saying stuff like they shouldn't really like merge the two communities together, like China and global, which honestly I do agree with, but you know, that's not what we're trying to say here. We're not trying to say we should merge the two communities together. What we're trying to say here is that we should just have maybe our own app, you know, even if it's in a separate community, because I know a lot of these posts over here have like community posts. I'm not sure exactly what app this is. I think it's like on a separate app, and then it's a page on an app over in China, but literally just making an app like this for you know, Kuro Games and for people that play Kuro Games games, honestly I think it could be great. And you know, I'm not sure how exactly you can monetize it, but I'm sure there are plenty of ways, maybe some ads or something like that, which honestly could help out Wuthering Waves in the long term as well, in terms of making money and making a little bit of revenue off this as well. So overall, that was just my idea for, you know, what they could add in the future, especially with a lot of the 2.2 stuff going on. Maybe in 2.3 they could release this, because again, it just seems like a really nice update that could be added, and you know, it's something that we just don't have over here yet. So yeah, let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this. Would you guys like to see a similar feature to this? Would you guys like to see something, you know, that could help you out with a ton of your building? But again, if you guys did enjoy this video, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.